Hi everybody, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. First off, before I start, just want to thank everybody for the support from yesterday's video, and I am just waiting for a phone call to find out when the surgeries are going to be now. I have a whole bunch of tests to do to make sure my lungs are at capacity and everything, but everybody was wishing me well, and thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. Let's talk about some of the things in the news. There was an altercation between guests in a private bungalow and people swimming, where the people in the private bungalow on Perfect Day at Coco Cay, of all places, Chill Island, right? Where you chill out, everybody. Got into some altercations, and I'm thinking there should be some pretty drastic actions taken. We'll talk about it. We have Carnival Cruise Line canceling more cruises on a ship for an unscheduled dry dock, and it's not that far away. We have Star of the Seas has finished up her sea trials. I'll let you know whether or not she passed or not. And then Carnival is saying no to one guest, suggestion on how to maybe possibly in Cozumel have less people miss the ship because of missing the time to get back on board. And Carnival said, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. So first off, let's talk about this incident. It happened, I believe, on the 24th of this month when the ships were in Perfect Day at Coco Cay. And this happened around the private bungalows. Now, this one bungalow is on the far left-hand side, the last bungalow in the row. And these bungalows, as you probably guess, can be pretty expensive, these over-the-water bungalows. They can range into the $2,000, $3,000 for the day price range, right? So you're paying some big money to be there. However, that doesn't give you rights over the beach and the whole area in around the whole section, and it doesn't give you the right to be abusive towards anybody, whether it be crew members or whether it be other guests nearby. Well, apparently on this particular day, it was pretty, the currents were pretty strong. And they kept kind of pushing guests who were in the public swimming area too close to that cabana, the over-the-water bungalow. And the lifeguards kept going over and saying, guys, you got to keep further away. You got to move away from the private cabanas, and that's a private area. And, people would try and swim away, but then other people, currents would bring them back. But all this time, the guests in the bungalow kept on yelling abusive language and profanities at not only the people swimming, but the lifeguards that were just doing their job, until two of the guests decided that they were going to take matters into their own hands, jumped in the water, and started going after swimmers who they thought were just too close to their bungalow, their private area. And not only threw punches and pushes and tried to push people under the water, besides yelling verbal abuse, etc. like this, until the lifeguard, immediately came over when they saw this. You can see jet skis head over and stop them. In the background, you can see that there's a lifeguard on the bungalow, and there's one guy in the water going like, what do we do? What do we, you know what you did. You chased other swimmers. You went after people in the water. That's what you did. You're a jerk. That's what you did. Just because you spent a lot of money doesn't mean you have priority over everybody else in the world. And so other lifeguards showed up. Now, Royal Caribbean has not commented on this yet of what's happening. Personally, kick them off, ban them. Ban them immediately. That's abusive behavior. If they're that upset over people getting in their way in the water on Chill Island, like they're swimming 20 feet away from your bungalow, oh my God, life's over as we know it. What are they going to do in a bar if there's no seats? What are they going to do if it's overcrowded? They're going to do the exact same thing. We don't need people like that on a cruise ship. Ban them for life. Royal Caribbean, if you're asking my advice, ban them for life. Plain and simple. Next, let's talk about Star of the Seas. Star of the Seas has passed her sea trials, which is good news as she will be coming over later this year, and people are really looking forward to it. Remember, she's actually going to sail earlier than expected. So good thing the sea trials passed. Otherwise, you might be missing those cruises at the beginning. But everything seems to be running in order. In fact, I haven't heard of a cruise ship in like 15 years failing the sea trials. Haven't heard of that. At least not the big cruise lines, that's for sure. Next, Carnival Cruise Line has just canceled a bunch of cruises starting January 5th to like the 26th of 2026 on the Carnival Conquest. Now, I just told you about some cancellations from Royal Caribbean and how amazing those, offers were. Full money back plus 100% future cruise credit. We'll move you over to the ship, or we'll move you to an inside cabin and you can stay on the ship for free and you still get your money back. Those kind of offers, well, Carnival is saying, well, you can get your money back, or you can rebook it on a similar cruising, like a similar sailing, but it cannot be longer than the cruise you're already booked on. And those cruises are 3 and 4 day sailing. So you can't book a 7-day sailing and get the same price range, even though the price will be protected. However, you will get a $50 onboard credit per person, up to $100 per cabin. That's the offer they're getting, which I guess, it's not that long before this cruise, right? They are also offering $200 in airfare for non-refundable airfare penalties if you can prove with documentation. Yeah, that's a lot of comparison between the two offers. Now, grant you, the other sailings were longer. However, with Royal Caribbean, I think canceling cruises less than a year away for moving into dry dock, I think you should be offering more than a $50 onboard credit. If I was sailing on that ship by myself, I get $50 if I rebook it with you. Because I might have booked my hotel. I might have booked it with another cruise. So I can go back to back on different ships. And now my cruise is canceled. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think? Do you think that is fair, or no, it should have been more like Royal Caribbean's offers? Next, let's talk about an idea that a passenger sent to John Hill, the brand ambassador at Carnival, and said, you know what? To stop people from missing the ship because of the time differences and everything between ship time and actual time in the port, maybe crew members should go to the bars in Cozumel and warn people that the ship is leaving in an hour. Let people know, hey, the ship is leaving in an hour. And Carnival basically said, no, we're not. First of all, which bars should we go to? All of them? You know how many bars are in Cozumel? There's a ton of bars in Cozumel. Do we just do the ones right at the port? What if we missed one that's another 100 yards down the road, and people now complain that, hey, you warned them, why didn't you warn us? And they're also stressing personal responsibility. Imagine that. Imagine that. We're responsible for our own actions. Isn't that a unique concept? That we don't have to be spoon-fed and we don't have to have our hands held the entire time we're doing something in life. And if we miss something because we didn't pay attention, it's up to us to take responsibility for it. Imagine that. I think that's a pretty novel idea these days sometimes. Well, again, let me know in the comments down below. Do you think the Carnival and other cruise lines should do that? Personally, I think it's on us. There are plenty of warnings. There are plenty of signs telling us what time to be back on the ship. And there's plenty of tips out there telling people not to miss the ship, how to schedule your time back, etc. I think it's honestly on us. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.